we are going to get started with the session. It's going to be a combination of some of our speakers giving you vital information about the Maine Business School, particular majors within the Maine Business School, but also we want to dedicate this whole time answering your specific questions about your major and also the Maine Business School in general. But also we have a couple of student ambassadors here from the Maine Business School ready to answer your questions coming from a student's perspective. So without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Melanie Brooks, who is the marketing and communications manager in the Maine Business School, who's kind of guide us with the presentation and the program tonight. So Melanie, please go
Great.
ahead.
Thank you, Ace. First, what I'm going to do is introduce the people that are here from the Maine Business School, and we have a short presentation that we will go through. Please type in your questions into the chat, and when we are done with the presentation, we will get to as many questions as we can, I promise. So I am joined today by Faye Gilbert, who's the Executive Dean of the Maine Business School, Jason Harkins, who is the Associate Dean of the Maine Business School, Cindy D'Angelo, who is the director of our student advising team. And our two students are Nicole Pelletier and John Libby. They are graduating seniors, and feel free to ask them questions as well. I'm going to start sharing my screen, and we will start with our short presentation. Give me 1 minute. All right. You ready, Dean Gilbert?
I'm ready. So I will start by saying welcome and congratulations. Congratulations for being accepted to the University of Maine and to the Maine Business School. It's a great place filled with great people. And we're very excited to share this short presentation about what it means to be a business black bear. We are in Orono, Maine. And so the University of Maine, founded in 1865, has been transforming lives and providing a great education for over 150 years. Our students come from Maine, the United States, and from more than 75 other countries around the world. We are centrally located in the heart of Maine. We are consistently ranked as one of the safest states in the nation. Bangor is right next door. Portland is about a 2-hour drive. Acadia National Park and Baxter State Park are each about an hour and a half away from Orono. We have 12,000 undergraduate and graduate students who attend the University of Maine in Orono or through online venues. So there are more than, at the University of Maine overall, there are more than 200 student clubs and organizations. A lot of access to outdoor recreation opportunities. It's what Maine is known for. We're the only NCAA Division I athletics program in the state, and there are more than 100 degree programs to choose from as majors or minors or emphasis areas or micro-credentials and certificates. I think you'll find friendly people here and very authentic, very realistic, and very engaged in what they're doing. We now go to why MBS, why business. I'll turn it over to others. Melanie?
Sure. This is the part where we would love to hear from Nicole and Jonathan a little bit about why they decided to study business. So Nicole, would you like to start?
Yeah, I'll kick it off. One of the reasons why I decided to go to the Maine Business School, and I have a little bit of a different perspective because I am a transfer student, is because of all of the opportunities that the University of Maine and the Maine Business School provides. A lot of those opportunities are really centralized around career preparation, career readiness. So for example, outside of classes, which inherently do that, there are lots of organizations, as Dean Gilbert mentioned, that give you those personal and professional development opportunities. There are research avenues you can go down. There are specialty projects you can partner with faculty or staff on. And those give you a really, really good idea of what it's going to be like to work with a team in the future, get you prepared to be out in the workforce, and make sure that you have all the skills that you need to be able to be successful. I'll turn it over to Jonathan.
Yeah, wait, Nicole was part of a 3-person team that in February of this year took the Chartered Financial Analyst competition for the state of Maine. They are now headed to the national finals for Chartered Financial Analyst. We're state champions for the 2nd year in a row, but that team is nationally competitive coming out of the University of Maine. Congratulations, Nicole. Now, Jonathan, and then I'll brag on you too.
Yeah, so on career flexibility, I think a lot of people as freshmen in colleges don't know what they want to do, and business is often a really diverse field that allows you to have a lot of career flexibility and be able to move around. I've been able to work in marketing, finance, alternative investments, and a lot of other fields, and because of a business major. If you, and it allows you to really explore many different avenues as you keep excelling your career and onboarding a lot of different skills. So I think that's something that's really attractive about business degrees. The Maine Business School is really awesome. The professors are awesome. And, one thing, I'm also a transfer student. I came from a school in Wall Street. I really enjoyed my school in Wall Street. The professors are great. But one thing I noticed about the school in Wall Street was all the professors had careers outside of being a professor, and it made it kind of hard for them to really spend a lot of time focusing on students. And the UMaine professors, they may have careers outside, but their priority are the students. And it's pretty obvious in how it shows. And you guys will experience that very quickly heading here.
Jonathan is part of the SPIFFy team, the Student Managed Investment Organization. They have taken their fund to over $4 million this year, from $3 million at the beginning of the year to over $4 million by now, and are working with a team of people from the advisory board for the Maine Business School to hone presentations and how they talk about investments and analysts. So bravo, Jonathan, just bravo.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about why we think you should study at the Maine Business School. In addition to what Nicole and John said, many of the similar reasons, or the Maine Business School benefits from many of the similar things that the University of Maine does. So we're about 1,200 undergraduate students, and excited to hear that this year early acceptances and early commitments are up. So we expect that this fall we might be a little bit bigger than we have been in years past, which is great. We hope you all join us. That 1,200 student population gives us this great sweet spot of being big enough to create lots of opportunities, some of which we'll highlight in just a couple of minutes, but it's not so big that you can't get to know your professor, that you're not going to take classes from professors. Almost all of our courses are taught by full-time faculty, or professionally qualified faculty where we are leveraging them. But you're not going to be in a class of 700 students taught by a graduate assistant. We're really do believe in the value of having faculty teach, as John just talked about. One of the things we think that makes MBS different is the way we do advising, and Cindy's going to talk a little bit about that.
So the Maine Business School is one of the programs on campus that we have a professional academic advising center. So every student is assigned a professional advisor, either myself or Jody and Jenny in my office. We work with you to navigate your requirement sheet, to make sure you're getting courses in the right order in the right time to graduate within 4 years. But the other aspect of that is every student is assigned a faculty mentor in their discipline area. So that faculty mentor is a great resource to help network for internships. We might send you to them to say, you need to pick an elective, but what's the best elective to get you to where you want your career goals to be? Those are the people you're going to meet with. You can get a great relationship with your mentor, but know that we're standing behind them and behind you to make sure that you're making very steady progress to get your degree on time.
So big priority really at the Maine Business School, particularly over the last year, has been really focusing on diversity, which is something we've done for a really long time from a recruitment perspective and from a faculty perspective. We have faculty that hail from more than 6 continents. We have students from 34 continents. But we've really driven home and honed in on diversity. We've adopted a faculty-led diversity and inclusion statement that I want to read you because it's really important to us. It's really at the core of who we are. So it says, the Maine Business School believes that supporting, respecting, and appreciating diverse perspectives and experiences strengthens our community, challenges our assumptions, and yields better decision-making in business and in life. We are committed to ensuring all members of the Maine Business School community feel welcomed, heard, and engaged. And that's something that we really are living by. It is something that we believe in strongly, and it's something that we hope that the community of people that are joining the Maine Business School, all of you and many others, are excited about that commitment to and development of a real explicit value around diversity. We've got some really exciting new stuff coming up for 2021, and the opportunities are open now. We've got a Bound for Business trip where 24 students are going to go on this 4-day-long canoeing and camping adventure in advance of school starting, and then being able to plug into a very small introduction to business class, which focuses its entire experience using that outdoor industry as a frame, right? So whether it's talking about how do we understand business context, looking at the outdoor industry and what have you. So it's a 1-week trip or a 4-day trip before classes start and then carried through. We're also standing up our inaugural living learning community. We have very creatively called the Maine Business School Living Learning Community. 60 students are going to get together on one floor of a residence hall on campus and are going to live in this community. We've planned a slate of 3 or 4 things to do over the course of the fall, which will be opportunities for you to plug in and build community and engage with each other and with some of the faculty and staff, and really create some unique experiences if that is your inclination. And then we're also going to, want to go to the next slide, Melanie. We're going to have a real focus around student success this term. And that means that we're going to focus on technology, where we have adopted really a world-class approach to getting you introduced to and then certified in Excel. We just got the numbers earlier today. We're excited. Almost 85% of students going through our Introduction to Excel course are passing the Excel certification on the first try, which is way above the national average. So we're super excited about that. It's a great skill that we're then deploying throughout for students throughout their time at the Maine Business School. And we're committed to standing up some really unique first-year research experiences. So we're going to work really hard with the university, which has put a big priority on research learning experiences for students that are so inclined to engage in the professional research that business people do. Develop some training. It's not it's a really unique opportunity to work in a very small group setting on some really class leading research, and get those connection points if you're so inclined. So I'll turn it back over to Faye for some closing remarks before we take questions.
I see that some questions have begun to come in. So that's wonderful. If you have questions, if you're curious, it's what we'd love to be talking to you in person on our campus. We're looking forward to fall and hope things continue to go well for a more in-person experience. But in the meantime, if you can get a feel for who we are by asking questions or hearing Nicole and Jonathan talk again, please ask questions for which you need answers. So I'll turn it back over to Melanie to moderate this Q&A session.
Well, thank you for those questions that have come in already. I think the first one is for Cindy. How would you go about changing your major?
Going to depend on how you're talking about changing your major. If you're looking to change into a different program at the University of Maine outside of the Maine Business School, at this point in time, you would need to contact the admissions office, usually in writing through an email to make that request. If you have been admitted as an undecided student in business or a management major and want to change your major within business, you can just let us know that. It's not going to impact what you're taking this fall as far as a business student is concerned. So that we can do very easily by contacting the advising center.
Melanie,
Grandchild.
I'd like to add on that from Cindy's comment about changing majors. So for our students that are tuning in here tonight, up until school starts this coming fall, so you do need to contact the admissions office. I will be providing my direct email. You can email me if you'd like to request your major change within the Maine Business School or beyond the Maine Business School. So we conduct a re-review of your application, just making sure everything works out for the change of major, and that takes care of it. Like what Cindy said, once you are a student here at the University of Maine, if you do start out with the Maine Business School, whether it's changing majors within the Maine Business School or beyond that, at that point, once you're here on campus, you do work directly with Cindy or the Maine Business School in changing your major. So again, I'll be posting my email and my contact information. You can contact me directly should you want to change your major at this point until school starts in the fall.
Thanks,
As
Faye.
long as you're changing your major into business and not out of business. I mean, as dean, I would be remiss if I didn't say that. So.
Jason or Faye, would you like to take this one? What internships are made available to business students? Are they paid or unpaid, for credit or not for credit?
We can probably both do some things with this. We've just done a survey of students to find that about 60% of our students are working part-time or full-time, and a great proportion are very interested in doing internships. Our new internship coordinator, Taylor Ashley, has joined us and is making connections between students, members of our advisory board, over 120 partners that are open to internships from University of Maine students and looking for more. So you would have to be proactive, and they are both paid internships and voluntary internships, but I believe that the majority of our internships from our recent survey were paid. Did I forget something, Jason?
No, I just, we could dial in. I mean, we have internships at major Maine employers like Unum and Tyler Technology and WEX and Bangor Savings Bank, certainly every year. We also have internships that happen at companies that might be doing their first internship. This year, we've actually had a really unique corporate valuation internship, essentially created as a consequence of an alum from the Maine Business School connecting with one of our faculty in finance, coming in, giving a presentation, and then literally creating an internship that came out of that. So there are a lot of unique opportunities for internships. Our goal is, as much as possible, to encourage employers and encourage you to seek paid internships. That is really important. There are some times where that's not possible, but I would say it is the overwhelming majority of internships at this point are paid internships. And where you're doing volunteering, right? We have a lot of students who do volunteer, but that becomes about volunteering, right? And serving the mission of an organization that you are aligned with. We're trying to encourage our internship partners to pay when and where they can.
So Nicole or Jonathan, did either of you do an internship?
Yeah, I did an internship through Camden National Bank. It was a paid position and it lasted all summer.
And you also did a study abroad?
I did do study abroad. Yep. I went to Italy the fall of my junior year.
Love, you're just a rock star, both of you. So it's the way to do it. It is, come in and let us help you get those. And Jonathan, I'm sorry, did I interrupt you?
Oh, it's fine. Yeah, I worked as a financial analyst. I did a couple things. I worked insurance in one of the internship in one of the top alternative insurance brokerages in New York City, and also worked in as a investment analyst in fixed income for like a $100 million portfolio. So it wasn't huge.
That's great. Let's go on to our next question. I think this one will be for Ace. Someone was asking about orientation. Can you talk a little bit about what that will look like for incoming students?
Awesome. Well, that is a great question, Melanie. We are in the midst of confirming our plans for summer orientation. We're very excited. Summer orientation is supposed to be like fun, exciting, getting you ready for school this coming fall. Summer orientation is going to be virtual still this coming summer. So it's going to start in the second last week of June with some exciting virtual events and sessions. But we're also planning on having some follow-up sessions in July and August for those that are kind of coming late in the game with getting accepted at the University of Maine, but also for students and parents that may have more questions about the University of Maine and how to prepare for the fall. So we are planning the series of live sessions in the last weeks of June and also some follow-up sessions in July and August. One thing that we are working and very excited to do is connecting each student with an orientation leader, or for that matter, a coach, a student coach this summer to work with you this summer, whether it's June, July, and August, and really having that direct contact. More importantly, a student-to-student contact in answering your questions, whether it's academics, whether it's like student services at the University of Maine, or student life, which is like how to get involved on campus and so forth. So that's one thing that we're very excited that we're doing this summer, is for you as an accepted student to have that direct contact with a fellow student, a current student, to answer any of your questions. So again, we should be emailing all of our accepted and confirmed students in middle of May for these live sessions, as well as connecting with your orientation leader. So be excited, because our plan this summer, aside from these live sessions to give you the information that you need, is to connect you with other students that have the same interests, whether it's academics or whether you're outdoorsy, whether you want to be in sports at UMaine. So that's our goal this summer, is to start connecting you with fellow students who may have the same interests as you.
That's great news, Ace. That's great. Thanks for sharing that. We have another question about how the Maine Business School helps our students get employment after graduation.
There's a University Career Center that has a very active process of connecting students with potential employers. We also have the Internship Center, which is not a full career center, but it is a connecting point to have students get the experiences that you heard Jonathan and Nicole talk about. From those kinds of internships experiences comes the confidence to know what you want to go after in a career, the connections from the people you worked with to recommend you to the next position, or to hire you back in the position that you were just there. There are no guarantees. I think I saw the word, is there a guarantee? No, we can't guarantee you a job, but we can assure you that we will be right by your side as you learn what you need to learn through the program, become Excel certified, put your hands on the other technologies you need to be talking about when you get to the interview stage, and to connect you with professionals, members of the advisory board and others. I was counting, we've had 60 executives make presentations in classes this year. All 60 of those executives work with firms that would be happy to talk with you further. So that practice in every year is the important part, but no guarantees. You're somewhat making your opportunities as you go. Who else can add to that? I jumped in there, but you may have different points of view.
I think that that's exactly what it is. I mean, I think we will support you in the ways that we certainly can, as it relates to your professional goals.
From a student's perspective, really, there are so many institutions in place to give you that assistance that you're talking about here, that if you're putting in the work, if you're actively searching for internships, if you're actively going to interviews, continuously updating your resume and writing quality cover letters, all of which the Career Center and our internship coordinator will help you with, if you're taking all those steps, there's almost no way, unless the job market's really, really bad, that you're not going to get something. I've seen people graduate without jobs before from Maine Business School, but at the end of the day, what they say is, oh, shoot, I should have been applying more in March, or I should have just taken the time to sit down and have these interviews. And they blame it on themselves pretty much, because you do have to be active.
Yeah, I'd like to see the university that can guarantee a job, but the reality is you're responsible, and they're doing their job to alleviate the process and help you get there, and get where you want to go. And that's the role of any university. In the end, you have to network. You have to, like Nicole hit it on the dot. You're responsible, and they're just providing you the avenue to get there. The professors will help you. There are professors from great networks here that can maybe help direct you based on what they think your goals and interests are. But in the end, theoretically, if you want to be a management consultant, you got to follow the process to be a management consultant. If you want to work in banking, you got to follow the process for banking, and you got to go work accordingly to it.
I noticed that there were some students here that are planning on majoring in accounting. And some of the things that we do at the Maine Business School with events is we have an accounting firm night where we invite accounting firms to come and meet with students. I know that in the spring, there are a lot of accounting internships around tax season. And I do know that Taylor is planning a lot of professional development events for the next year as well. Another question we had is about double majoring. So is there an opportunity to double major in the business program? If so, which ones do you believe synergize together?
Nicole, are you a double major?
Yep. I'll do my little spiel, and then I know Cynthia will be able to answer a lot of these questions. I'm an accounting and finance double major. They synergize very, very well together. Required courses for finance are also electives for accounting. I also know a lot of people that pair management and marketing together. So those four are the four core majors we have at MBS. And people will also often pair a double major or just one major with a concentration, which we have various of that I'm sure we'll get into. But I definitely encourage pursuing a double major. That Maine Business School gives you really good basis on all of the business concentrations. So I've had to take marketing and management courses, several of each, for my major, even though I'm not in either one of those majors. But I definitely love the idea of being able to major in two majors, because I think it just rounds out your education more fully.
Cindy probably has the.
Nicole hit it right on the spot. It's very easy to double major with business majors. I highly encourage it. That is part of the Professional Advising Center's job, is to try to help you utilize your credits to your best advantage. When you're getting here, you have enough elective room that we have students that will double major plus do either a minor or do one of our optional concentrations, either in international business, business information systems, or entrepreneurship. And we will work to navigate those. But more times than not, most of our students do graduate with a double major. Management marketing, management finance has been popular, accounting and finance, marketing. We have a lot of students that also do a minor in graphic design because we have a couple of marketing courses that overlap with that. So we can work with you to do that. I've been advising students all week as we're registering for fall, and the catalog is open and we can help you navigate all of those courses and pathways to your best advantage.
So to follow up on that question, Caitlin wants to know if finding with double majoring, you had a lot more work, which I think kind of lends itself into talking a little bit about the core of the Maine Business School. Does anyone want to tackle that question?
I'll start. The core of the Maine Business School, because we are AACSB accredited, we are accredited by the gold standard of quality for business education, and almost all AACSB accredited business programs will have a core that is held in common. And so all business students get courses in accounting, finance, management, marketing, information systems, so that no matter what your major is, as you graduate, you have an understanding of the overall organization, whether it's nonprofit or for-profit, big or small, that you understand how it's operating. And then your major lets you specialize a little bit in accounting, finance, management, marketing, or one of the concentrations, entrepreneurship, business information systems, or international business that you're interested in. So double majoring, yes, it might be a little more challenging to get a double major in accounting and finance, but I don't think it adds to the length of the time you're here. Cindy, is that true?
You can do a double major within 4 years very easily for our students.
Yeah,
I've
I'd
had
like
a
to
few accounting students do a triple major, so just
Yeah, as a accounting major, it makes sense to double because you need 150 credits anyway for the CPA. But I want to shout out Cindy. I came in with only a year and a half left in my major degree, and she kind of helped me set up a double major. With my obviously I had credits beforehand, but it's doable. And you have a lot of electives, so like you can fit in a double major, if you really want to. And it's not you'll be taking classes. It just matters if it's towards a double major, really. If as long as you organize, and Cindy will organize that well with you along. And if the other advisor is giving a hard time, she'll make sure that's straightened out to make sure your schedule's cleaned out. She's pretty brilliant.
And I do think the underlying theme is work hard in college. You'll enjoy it. You'll have opportunities to do other things and to be entertained and to meet friends and to go to games and see hockey and the whole diverse set of experiences. But stay focused on, treat it like a job, treat it like the beginning of your career for the 4 years you're here, so that you're adding those work experiences and beginning to network with other professionals and taking that right step forward. It's a good place to do that, and you've got good people around you here to help you stay focused.
Melanie, I'd like to add a tip for our accepted students about double majoring or minoring, because this is something that we get a lot of questions in the admissions. And, so I said that in changing your major, you have to work with the admissions until you come here in the school. Somewhat similar for double majoring or minoring. You actually have to wait until school starts again and work with Cindy and the Maine Business School in a sense of declaring if you want to, or discussing that you want to double major or minoring in another major here at the University of Maine. So right now, coming from the admissions end, if you're accepted in finance, accounting, business management, marketing, that is your primary major. But that does not mean that you can start those conversations with Cindy or with the Maine Business School as far as what it looks like. So asking the question, how do you double major and minor on something? That is right now is the right time to start asking those questions. But to officially initiate that in terms of the paperwork and all that, the fall semester, once you're here, it's the way to do it. So
Thank you, Ace. I noticed another question about if there was a healthcare minor or concentration, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I do not believe we have one in the Maine Business School. But that doesn't mean that you can't minor outside of the Maine Business School. Can someone just describe how that works a little bit?
It's there are some, you want to talk with the professional advisors. If that's your interest, they can make sure that for the electives you have for your business degree, that you can use them in a wealth of different ways. We've got a wonderful degree program in nursing. You know, there are great opportunities in biochemistry and chemistry and in any of a number of other fields. I'm unsure about lab sciences. I should know more about that, but I believe that it's here. So you can put with a business degree some healthcare options courses, perhaps a certificate. I don't know that it's here, but there you'd be looking for that. Within the Maine Business School, we do not yet have a healthcare concentration or minor, but the application of your business degree to healthcare organizations or to nonprofit organizations within the healthcare sector are all pretty similar. So your internship in the healthcare field might be the best that we could suggest that you do with your business degree to prepare yourself for a career in that area. Did that make sense?
The other option that's available to you is we have an accelerated pathway to our MBA where we do have a concentration in the MBA around healthcare management. So not only could you move forward and pursue a minor or take electives in healthcare related fields, but you could also, if you know that healthcare is your career pathway, you can accelerate straight into the MBA with a GPA above a 3.25. There's no letter, there's no GMAT. You just right into the MBA, get to take courses right into the main MBA, and then do your concentration there, where I would say there's some really world-class capabilities of pairing that graduate degree with some exciting coursework offered out of the Muskie School for Public Admin and Public Health.
It's a great point. And yes, the 4+1 with the MBA allows you to begin taking MBA classes before you graduate. Did you do that, Nicole?
Yep. I'm in my final semester of undergrad and also my first semester of MBA. I did it pretty last minute. So looking back, I probably could have begun taking MBA classes in the fall, but I didn't even apply until December. So I only got to start this semester, but it's really, really great, especially if you're strategic with how you take credits in undergrad. I only have to take 2 undergrad courses to finish my degree this semester. So I'm also able to get a lot of my MBA courses out of the way before I start working. It's like Dean Harkins and Dean Gilbert said, it's a really, really nice way to jumpstart your career and make sure you're not wasting your well-earned money on credits that you don't really need.
Oh, our MBA is one of the tops in the country and one of the best values that you could possibly find for an MBA degree in the country, not just in New England, but in the country. It's okay. And I think we answered the double majoring question, Melanie, that no, double majoring does not necessarily increase your timeline. So
that's what Cindy's here for. Keep you on track.
To add for that question about like healthcare and other opportunities here at the University of Maine. So we have a lot of students that are coming in that, majoring in business, but also interested in other fields here at the University of Maine. And one thing that we offer that's great for students is that we have a university ambulance corps that is run by students and staff and managed by students. Certainly, we have a lot of nursing majors and healthcare professionals that would like to pursue that, but it's actually open to anybody. I mean, you can get certified through this program, this student organization, to be an EMT and run our voluntary ambulance corps here at the University of Maine. So you could be in business, but have a strong interest in healthcare and also serving our students in our community here in Orono, and become an EMT certified staff slash student person to manage our ambulance corps. So again, just to give you an example, that there's tons of opportunities to kind of mix and match like academics, social, and also organizations that are already existing or could be existed in the future.
So it's April 2nd. Cindy and Ace, what are some of the deadlines that these students need to be aware of as they make their decisions?
Awesome. I guess I'll get started with that. That is a big thing here in the admissions office that we'd like to promote here at the for all of our accepted students. So May 1st is the deadline to submit your enrollment deposit. That is a major deadline for us because we want to know who are committing to be a Black Bear this coming fall. One of the major things, so number one, our enrollment deposit is only $50 here at the University of Maine. It used to be $300. We brought it down to $50 to accommodate students in making that deposit easy. We also want to emphasize that that $50 actually goes towards your final bill here in the fall. It does not, it's not a fee. It doesn't go away. It actually gets applied to your tuition, fees, housing, whatever bill that you're gonna have for this coming fall. So $50 May 1st. So that guarantees your spot here at the University of Maine. Traditionally, it also triggers the class registration process. So the enrollment deposit by May 1st, Cindy would get the notification that somebody has confirmed here at the University of Maine in the Maine Business School, and that traditionally starts the class registration process. So if you want to be ahead of the game in terms of getting your class schedule, getting the best schedules, I would say get your enrollment deposit by May 1st. Second of all, which kind of goes along with May 1st, May 1st is also the priority deadline for our housing application. So if you're a student that is planning on living on campus this next fall, May 1st is the priority deadline for the housing application. So it is actually a separate application from the admissions process. One thing that I want to tell students and parents is that submitting your housing application does not commit yourself here at the University of Maine. It's separate from the enrollment deposit. So anybody that is just considering to attend the University of Maine, please go ahead and send your housing application if you plan on living on campus, because it does not commit yourself here. It just guarantees that the housing requirements or housing options that are available are made available for you by completing that application by May 1st. So again, May 1st is a big thing as far as admissions in terms of your enrollment deposit, as well as your housing application.
And Ace, is if students are interested in joining the Maine Business School Living Learning Community, they can check that box off on their housing application. Am I correct?
That is correct. So on the housing application, we have several living and learning communities. One of them is the Maine Business School Living and Learning Community. So again, it does not commit you in attending University of Maine. Get that housing application. If you're interested in the Maine Business School Living and Learning Community,
You are.
If you can't tell, we're really excited about it. One of the students asked, as a freshman, can you live at the Reserves, which is an on-campus apartment complex?
Off-campus, sorry.
I'm sorry, off-campus apartment complex.
That is a good question. So one thing Last year, we actually were a little flexible with the first year residency requirement here at the University of Maine. So if you're a first year for this coming year, it's actually reinstated that we do require the first year residency requirement, meaning during your first year you have to live on campus, actually is in full reinstatement. So you do have, there is a requirement for our first year students to live on campus. I believe the opt out of that is if you live 50 miles, in the radius of Orono. If you live within the 50 miles, then you're able to live at home or live with a parent, grandparent, or any other, like an apartment for sure. Um, However, I do want to mention that one thing that we have learned during the pandemic this past year, and that's why we are requiring the first year residency requirement, is we found in the data that you are actually better off living on campus. With the convenience of housing, dining, our resident assistants helping you with living on campus, as well as academics. We strongly believe that our students are better off living on campus for next fall. Now, beyond that, we do know that there are certain circumstances where students would like to live in an apartment or with a family member close by. So we are still open. We've always been open to those circumstances, especially when it comes to medical conditions that students or family situations.
Mhm.
I do want to emphasize that we are open to those reasons and those circumstances that a student may be exempted from the first year residency requirement.
So Ace, when a first year student applies for housing, when should they expect a response confirming where they will be living?
So again, we do encourage you to apply by May 1st. So it does take our housing department May and June to kind of match up everybody according to their preference, their living and learning community that they selected. So we actually, right at July 1st, that is when the housing department actually contacts all of our students about their housing and their roommate assignments. So July 1st is the date when we send out who your roommate is going to be. So you can start talking about like who's going to bring the TV, who's going to bring the couch. I mean, couch is a big thing, but like who's going to bring all these stuff, but also get to know your roommate. But also know where your housing is going to be, which room, which hall, and so forth. So July 1st is an exciting time for our students to know where they're living and who their roommates are going to be this coming fall. So.
And if you want to live in the best place on campus, you will sign up for the Maine Business School Living Learning Community.
And as far as registration and stuff confirmed, Ace is correct. I've already been, unless transfer students on this call that just paid their deposit this week, I have been in contact with all of our confirmed transfer students. They have their registration material. Confirmed first year students, once we can get you to accept your financial terms and conditions, you'll be receiving an email from MBS at Maine regarding that, but we will be starting to register incoming first year student in April, later this month. So I would also encourage people that if you're interested in the Bound for Business program, get the form in as soon as possible because it is first come, first serve. And we want to make sure we get those students registered for that trip as well as registered for that specific section of our Introduction to Business course.
So Bound for Business would mean that you'd be coming to campus a week earlier, 3-4 days early, moving into the Living Learning Community Hall early, and then going to one of our 4-H camps near the campus, but about 2 hours from here. You would be working with 2 faculty members and professionals from outdoor rec to engage in hiking and canoeing and seeing a little bit of Maine to get started with 24 other students. And then back, you'd all be in the same living learning community, and then in the Management 101 course, where you'd be looking at outdoor industry management topics as your introduction to business beginning to your business learning. It's the first time we're trying it, so you may help us improve it, but I'm excited as I can be with the people who will be off with you, guiding you through the outdoor adventure with the ability to move in the week before others would be moving in. So you get to start a little early. And I really want to do the hiking and canoeing. I'm liable to be traveling over there to see if I can't borrow a canoe and go with you for one or two of those experiences. The living learning community also, with having 60 students. So it's open to the first 60 students who are applying for the living learning community. We have adventures there set up with working with the student organizations, meeting with faculty, meeting with us, having an art session so that you name it something better than the business living learning community. So we're counting on you, if you're in that living learning community, to help us really set the stage for its traditions moving forward. It's an exciting time. Congratulations to you all for being accepted here. There may be other questions. But do you have last thoughts while we're waiting, Nicole or Jonathan, starting with you?
I'll just say, this is just a quick comment that I had about the business living learning community. I actually like it because it shortens to LLC, and that's very businessy. So I support the name. But really, thank you all for joining us today. I hope you got something of value out of this session. UMaine and the Maine Business School is a great place. One thing I want to emphasize that Dean Harkins talked about earlier is I think we're a big school. We're not that big of a school, but the MBS community really is a community. You get to know your professors, you get to know your peers, and it's one of the best experiences you can ask for. So I would definitely encourage you to consider joining us at MBS.
Nicole is also a student that is involved in many of the student organizations as well, which are very easy to join, and they're always looking for new members.
And Jonathan?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that really stuck out to me at the University of Maine is all the professors here are really brilliant, and they genuinely care and want you to succeed. And that's just something that can always resonate, I think, with all students. As you go through your 4 years, it's not easy to figure out what you want to do, who you're going to be, and balance that with everything else going on in life. And it's nice to know your professors that, like Faye said, Dean Gilbert said, this is a job, and these guys are here to help you succeed if you want to succeed, and it's very obvious, and you can learn a lot. It's you being finance, and financial economics, you learn a lot, and it's very awesome to see that here.
They are a really gifted set of faculty who also managed to be just very nice people to know, in my opinion. Cindy, last thoughts?
I just am excited for the incoming class. I think we have some phenomenal things happening at the Maine Business School in the fall. And I am going to jump in and answer that last question.
Thank you.
One of those questions about the college credits. If you have taken courses through a college in high school, you need to have that college send an official transcript to the University of Maine. There should be information on the admissions website as to where to send that to the Shared Processing Center. They can send it electronically, they can mail it. If you took an AP course, you need to make sure that on your paperwork, you have those official AP scores sent to the University of Maine. So that way, when we get those transcripts, we get those credits, we can adjust fall schedules accordingly. And I mean, a lot of you students are doing a phenomenal job. I've had students come in that have a whole semester's worth of work. It is fantastic. It gets you out either a little bit early, or it gives you extra room to explore. So make sure you get those into us. And that way we can get those credits accounted for.
It's perfect.
But welcome.
Jason?
Yeah, I mean, all of the things that you've heard today are absolutely reflected. I hope you can hear our passion, pride, and commitment in our voices. We think that the Maine Business School is a great place to be. The University of Maine is a great place to be, and studying business is the right thing, you know, candidly, for everybody to do. So we will be there. We are strong advocates of yours and your success, and just really hope that you really think about this and consider us. And we're glad you're here, and we hope you join us in the fall.
Ace, any last thought?
Yes, thank you so much. First and foremost, thank you so much, then Gilbert, Melanie, Jason, everybody on this call for taking the time to talk with our accepted students. I just reposted my name and my contact information, addressing Caitlin. Caitlin, if you want to email me even tonight or Monday, I can work with you one-on-one in making sure that I specifically answer your question as far as transfer credits from other colleges while doing dual enrollment and so forth, also APs and so forth. So definitely email me. The last thing I would like to add is that I work very closely with the Maine Business School. I know everybody in this call pretty much. Also, I coordinate our orientation programs, which you'll learn more about. Again, those details about, do I need parking? How to apply for housing? So I would like you to take my offer to email me for any questions that you may have, whether it's academics, UMaine Life, student services, so that I can connect you to the right folks. So again, name's Ace Barrera. Email me. I look forward to working with you in confirming your spot here at the University of Maine and to be a Black Bear, and hopefully see you around this coming fall. Thank you, Dean Gilbert.
Thank you. Melanie, you're going to take us home?
Absolutely. I've dropped some links in the chat, but I will follow up with an email to all of you early next week with some more links. And if you have questions after this, please feel free to email mbs@maine.edu, and we will answer those questions for you. Thank you for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And again, our tagline is go big, go blue, go business.
Go business.